Welcome back, witches. Time for chapter 30 through however far we get.
Hopefully, chapter 37.
Yeah. Of A Court of Mist and Fury. SJM. Heck yeah. I have to sneeze. Oh no. Oh,
Pineapple.
just saying it out loud made me not have to sneeze anymore.
Yeah, your brain thinks of something else. All right, cool. Anyways, chapter 30.
Chapter 30.
So at this point, I really don't remember where we're at.
They just went dancing and like she came back and they're like passing notes. Her and Nick are like passing notes, and I know it's been a while. It feels.
Yeah, a lot has happened since. Okay,
so the first thing that cracks me up is that I think it's just my reaction. I realize I'm getting over her trauma just like everybody else, like just like she is, because good God. Okay, I'm trying to find the page. Because I'm so shocked by the fact that like Cassian's training her just like he would train anyone else. Like he's not treating her like a pretty princess.
Yeah.
And keeping her in a tower. He's like down and dirty, knocking her over and all this stuff. I love it.
Yeah. There's a part on 294 where she's talking about like how everybody looks, like Cassie and Azriel and Rhysand, how they look from like years of training and all that. And I commented, I could look like that too if I had time and money to cook and work out consistently. Plus, I'm a lazy piece of shit, so there's that.
Oh my God, no, I literally was thinking that the other day, like, everybody's like, oh, like, they got, like, Ashley Graham, for example. Oh, she got famous, and now, like, she's lost all this weight, and, like, she's still plus size, but, like, she's fit plus size. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, if I didn't have a job, I would be able to make time to eat healthy and work out and, like,
yeah, listen, if I had the money to afford healthy living and all the gym memberships and like personal fitness trainers, anything anyone could ever ask for, and if I had the time and
the time is really a big one for me. Like, yeah, because with my current job, like I do have the money to do those things. Like I can eat healthy if I had time, but like time to work out, it's just not going to happen. Like a
full day of being with kids as a teacher and then go home and they're just like, I just need a mental break.
Yes. And then like I do walk those dogs now, but like that's one day a week.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes. And one of them is the most stubborn dog I've ever met. And we literally, we will do a 30-minute walk and we walk 0.2 miles every time because she just will stop and just look at me. She's a bulldog and she'll just give me that nasty bulldog look like, what are we doing? So.
They're so cute, though.
She is so cute, and I love her, and I love her personality, but, like, it's not great for the exercise. So, there's that. Hey, babe, we need to get a dog so I can exercise more.
Just run outside and run around. And
hint, hint.
Hint. Let's see, 295. So, at this point, what is it? She's talking about how like, oh, I've left, what's his name? I want to call him Tarquin. Tamlin. I've left Tamlin. I've done this or I've done that. And she was like going through it, like he'd probably trashed the manor in his rage. If my mere mention of him suffocating me had caused him to destroy his study, then this, I'd been frightened by those fists of pure rage, cowed by them, and it had been love. I had loved them so deeply, so greatly. And then I'm sitting there like, man, that's scary. Like, did you really love him, or is this legitimately Stockholm Syndrome?
No, that's so real. And, like, I feel like you see that in a lot of people who are abused, like, even, like, their abusers do little things to try to get back in, and, like, they fall for it. They could fall into it because they did love that person so much.
And they're like, oh, well, this is great. This is like change. This is the start of something. But it's like the consistency of that change is not there.
Well, and there are some things that you can't go back from. Like
trashing the study,
locking her in a house, even just hitting somebody. Like,
yeah,
you're not going to come back from that because the next time you get back to that place and you push them that far, they're going to do it again.
And at that point you might think that you're safe. So then you're going to accidentally push the buttons further than you did before, and then they're going to go further than they've done before.
And even emotional manipulation, like those patterns are really, really hard to break. And like
it's kind of like Mother Gothel and Rapunzel.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, great, now I'm the bad guy. And she just sits there like
gaslighting her.
Like, oh my God, you're right. Like, this is horrible. I'm a horrible daughter. Like, she's taking care of me and blah, blah, blah.
When in reality, she's locked you in a damn tower.
Yeah, same thing. Anyways, yes. But yes.
So I wrote, I love this little family of weirdos. And then, like, I love that Cassian was, like, trying to get her to talk about it and about the letter that she sent to Tamlin. And she was like, he told you? And he was like, he told Azriel, who needed to know. And Azriel told me. And like, I was just like, what a family of little weirdos. Like, they make me so, it reminds me of Brittany's family because, like, they just have such good relationships and, like, they all are there for each other. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. I wish I had that.
Same.
But I feel like I've made that in my friends, like, because you're totally going to tell me if I'm doing something fucking stupid. So, like, and so we'll know Kayla. It. Right, like.
Tell you that all the time. Like, what are you doing?
Stop that. Stop it. I literally know which one of my friends I need to go to for which response I want. Like, if I want somebody who's just going to build me up and pump me up, I go to Kayla. If I want somebody who's going to tell me the truth, I go to M. If I need someone who knows my whole background, I go to Katie. Like, those are my three.
Yeah, I just sit there. I'm like, you're fucking stupid.
Like, and you do that to everyone. It's not just me, which I love. Like,
I do it to everybody.
You're like, don't make that stupid mistake again. If I need someone who's not going to mince words, M is the one. If I need logic, which I don't ever need logic, Brittany. Sometimes I just want to be dramatic. Just kidding. I love you. I like your logic sometimes. But sometimes I just want to be dramatic.
I know. Honestly, I get so mad whenever Will's trying to, like, be logical about stuff. And I just sit there and I'm like, I get it. But I'm just pissed off because you're trying to make me not pissed off. And now I'm just more pissed off because I want to be pissed off. And now you're just frustrating me.
Well, and, like, when I'm still in that, like, emotional place, and, like, it's even brain science. When I'm in that, like, fight or flight, emotional, pissed off place, logic, it doesn't matter. You can logic it all day long. I can't hear it. Like, Brittany's getting way better at it, though, like, letting me be dramatic first and then trying to, like, logic it. But she's a fixer, so she's always trying to, like, come up with a solution. And I'm like, no, right now I'm just mad. No solution. Also, no. I got my nails done, and do you notice that I talk a lot more with my hands when my nails are done?
Yeah. You look like you're like a buddy hop. Yeah. So there's a part on 296. If you don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's my next thing is in 296 as well.
So there's a part over here where they're fighting and they're getting really, really Feyre's getting really, really angry through her fighting. And specifically because they're doing like 1-2 punches, and so each time she's like trying to put more force into her punches, she's using the anger that she's feeling and kind of catapulting her emotions through.
And Cassian's kind of pushing that anger, pushing that
right buttons. And it's like, I get his part of it because he's trying to, like, ease her, but also try to, like, use this as, like, a motivator kind of thing.
Well, and I like that.
Yeah, and it works. It's a really great method. I mean, I tell my kids all the time, like, go do something to, like, waste that energy to, like, and then they're perfectly calm afterwards.
This is a safe environment to do so.
Yeah.
So, like, do that.
Yeah, so she's getting really, really angry, and she's just like, it had been love, and I've met it, the happiness, the lust, the peace. It felt all those things once, but maybe those things blinded me too. Maybe they've been a blanket over my eyes about the temper, the need for control, the need to protect that ran so deep he'd locked me up like a prisoner. And then she's like, no, I'm fine, as she's continually doing that. And he's like, all right, 1, 2, and fine is good. Fine is great. That's fine, whatever. So then she's just building up that anger until she just loses it. And you know what? Get angry. Yes. This is why he never actually cared for her like she did for him, because she did all of this stuff for him, and that's what happened. It's like when Amarantha had broken me, when she had snapped my fingers. Oh, actually, hold on. It goes in before that. I had done everything for that love. I had ripped myself to shreds. I had killed innocence and debased myself, and he just sat there beside Amarantha on that throne, and he couldn't do anything, hadn't risked it, hadn't risked being caught until there was one night left, and all he wanted to do wasn't free me, but fuck me. And again, and again, and again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And when Amarantha had broken me, when she had snapped my bones and made my blood boil in its veins, he just knelt and, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't sound right when I read it, and begged her. He hadn't tried to kill her, hadn't crawled for me. Yes, he'd fought for me, but I'd fought harder for him. And again and again and again, each pound of my fist on the sparring pads and question and an answer. And it's like, yeah, get that answer.
Yes, that's super therapeutic.
Get that fighting going.
So, yeah, that's my next thing too. Is like, then Reese comes in and is like, you're always gonna feel that way. Like, he's her calm, and I love it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's. Oh, excuse me. Like, anyways, so yeah, you have to really, really, really get that going in there for that fighting, and it really is therapeutic, because if you ever work out, it's usually like an emotional response for a lot of people to use that anger, annoyance, or whatever to get going. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. And it's like, he had the nerve to once his powers were back, to shove me into a cage, the nerve to say I was no longer useful. I was to be cloistered for his peace of mind. He'd given me everything I needed to become myself, to feel safe. And when he got what he wanted, when he got his power back, his lands back, he stopped trying. He was still good, still Tamlin, but he was just wrong. And it's absolutely horrible when people use you for that. And that's why my comment was, he never actually cared for her like she did for him.
Yeah, for real. Tamlin, fuck Tamlin, man. Ugh.
But yeah,
and then on page 300, are we to 300 yet?
No, I got 298.
So on 298, I just said he is her calm, because like, he comes in and is talking to her about his trauma, and is like, you're always going to feel that way, but you can't let it get you.
Oh yeah, like when he like surrounded his surrounded his like powers around her, or something like that. Yeah. And it's really nice too, because he's just like, I'm sorry I didn't figure out a way to like save you from under the mountain. And he tries so damn hard. He tried harder than Tamlin.
Yes,
he tried for 50 years before even she became a thing.
Right. And like, he protected her as much as he could.
And all he did was sit there and be like,
nah,
I'm so broken. My lands are this. I don't have my full power back. I have to do this, instead of actually trying.
Wah. Okay, wah.
Bitch.
Yeah. Fucking tampon.
And then she's just like continually fighting and fighting and fighting, until like she looks at the like Cassian's hands and sees that the like punching pads were burnt through, and he's like, keep going, that's fine. And that's so nice to have like a support, whether it doesn't even have to be like a significant other, it's just a friend to be like, that's fine, I'm ready to take it if you need me to. And it's like, that is so nice when you like, because it's as soon as that happens, that's when like usually you break down.
Yes, because you get to that point where you can be open.
Yeah. Oh, there's a funny comment I wrote. So so she starts talking about I don't think she was talking about Cassian, but I think she was talking about Reese and his sweat and like how she smells, and it's like, he smells like this or he smells like that. What is it? Oh, so he says, I have 2 nightmares, blah, 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 this one, and the ones where I hear your neck snap and see the light leave your eyes. And then she just sits there and stares at him, examines the tattoos on his chest and arms, the glow of his tan skin, so gold now that he's no longer caged under the mountain. I got to look at his muscles that flowed beneath the waist of his leather pants. What is it? And he's just looking, and she's just looking at him. And then he goes, I smell that scent on him, and blah, blah, blah. I smell the sweat, but I also smell his scent. And I'm just like, authors are setting really unrealistic male expectations.
Yes.
Men do not smell nice after an hour of extreme cardio and fighting, not seeing citrus at least.
Yeah, well, and like,
They smell like ass.
no one smells good after that. Like, stop it.
I know, I'm just sitting there like, man, after like an hour of weightlifting, I don't smell, but I also don't smell fresh.
Right, like, I don't smell like citrus, that's for sure. Like, what?
And it's like, man, little girls grow up to believe this, and they're just setting themselves up for.
Listen, if little girls are reading this book, we need to talk to their parents.
I'm
but
talking
for
about
real,
in general.
authors do give super unrealistic expectations, like, just like Disney movies, like,
Your prince will come. No, man, Shang from Mulan is one of the
Okay.
most realistic men out
Yes,
there.
for real, though.
You fight good. Thanks.
And then he for real does get pissed at her and like send her away, and then he comes back and it's all awkward and cute. And,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's life.
right. Like, oh my god.
Sorry. You were right. I was wrong. What? What was that?
Can you? Huh? What?
I didn't hear you the first time.
Can you say that again?
Loud and clear. Can I record this while you're saying it? Thank you.
Yes.
So I will play this any single time. Anyways, that's all I had for it.
Oh, and then I just had on page 300, like, she's so petty because at the end, he's like, go take a bath, Reese. And I gave him a particularly vulgar gesture and then asked Cassian to fly me home instead. Like, you're so fucking petty, bitch. And I am here for it.
He's probably just like, I smell like sea and citrus. You smell like ass. Go take a bath.
And she's like, you know what? Okay, come here, Cassian.
Reese wants me to take you to bed anyway.
Oh my god.
So chapter 31. I have some for page 303. Right off the bat, I said,
Oh my gosh.
drama, but Moore has a great reason. I would also act like Amron.
Well, and I'm just like so confused about that dynamic, that like triangle that we've got there. Like, Cassian is protecting Az from getting hurt by Moore, but like I don't understand. Like, there's background there that I don't have yet, and I'm like,
What is happening?
it makes me so mad because it makes me be like, ugh, do I like Moore? Like, I feel like I really like Moore, but do I? Like, what is?
Yeah, like what's happening? I think you'll like more later on. But it's what is it? But yeah, it's like it's so drama. It's just like, well, you didn't do this or you didn't do that. Last I was aware, I didn't take orders from you or report to you, so I was who I was with is none of your damn concern. And it's like, well, it's true. That's a lot of drama. Like, who the fuck cares who she's with? That's not up to you. Like,
Right.
she doesn't need to tell Azrael either, because there's something going on between that one. And it's like, why would I sit there and tell a person who I think has a crush on me, look, I bed this person last night.
Right.
Like, that's horrible. And Moore, I don't think would do that. And then there's also a part on 33 at the very bottom where it was like, so they're all fighting at the House of Wind, or not fighting, but they're like training at the House of Wind, and Amron's just sitting there watching for like the last hour. And Moore comes in, and that's like when the whole argument starts like picking up. And then Cassian's like, "What? Okay, whatever, fine. Why exactly are you two ladies here?" And then she's like, "Well, Reese is coming in a few moments to give us some news, apparently. Didn't Amron tell you?" Amron's like, I forgot. I was having too much fun watching Feyre evade Cassian's tried and true techniques to get people to do what he wants. Cassian's like, you've been here for an hour. Oops.
You know, Amron is my favorite. I can't even.
Well, it's funny because he's just like, after she says the oops, he just goes, get off your ass and give me 20 lunges. And then she just growls at him.
Also, okay, on page 304, they get the invitation to the summer court.
Oh, yeah.
And like they're getting ready to go. And he's like, Reese is like, me, Feyre, and Amron. And everybody else is like, bitch, what? And like Amron is like their bodyguard. And I love that. Like, you find out later that that's not actually necessarily why she was invited. But like, I love that she's like in the bodyguard role there. And everybody's just like, Makes sense.
And Cassian's like, what the fuck?
Right.
I
Like,
want to go. And he's just like a little kid at Christmas, like, I want to go. Can I go?
right.
And then he's like, no, last time we were there, you destroyed a fucking building.
And they're like, I think Amren's plenty. Like, kind of like Hagrid and Harry Potter. They're like, Hagrid's got this, except Amren's like 4 feet tall,
Right.
20 pounds. It's fine. Makes sense.
Cassian's like, Cassian, considering the fact that last time you visited, you know, I wrecked one building.
It was one time.
And considering the fact that they are utterly terrified of sweet Amren, she is the wiser choice. And it's like, haha, fuck you. Oh man, that was good.
And then just the next thing I have is page 306.
I have some on 305.
Okay.
I have a lot on that one for just that page. Oh, so it talks about what is it? Reese is like explaining why Amren's going, and he goes, there is a great deal of treasure to be found in the summer court. If the book is hidden, Amren, you might find other objects to your liking. And he's like, shit, really, Reese? It's bad enough we're stealing from them, but robbing them blind? And then Amren's like, but he does have a point. It's like, man, she's a damn dragon. They did say something about her trove, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, I think she is a dragon. I cannot remember what or who she is without the body. It's been a bit, and I've reread these books, so now I'm like lost it all. But I'm telling you, man, whew. Oh, and then I complained about Feyre. There's a part where she's just like, woe is me. Oh, here it is. I stiffened what I had to do, meaning track down that book of breathings and steal it. Feyre, cursebreaker, and thief. And I'm like, good thing they didn't tack on murderer.
Right.
Like take your blessings, man. Like, whiny.
Right. Like, and like, yes, you're taking it from them, but you're doing it to protect them in the long run. Like,
right. So like in the long run,
justify the means kind of thing.
Right. Slytherin.
Ugh.
She's definitely not one. Reese is though.
Oh my god. Fucking Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Anyway,
306.
on page 306, I am just reading this like banter and this whole like back and forth between Feyre and Reese, and I just need her to realize I need that mating bond to click into place for her. I
It's
need
so
it.
frustrating
Like
to
I
go
need
through
water. Like I need it.
It's so frustrating to like to read this and be like, ugh. Just realizing it already.
Well, and especially because like I feel like for me, because I tend to pick up on things easier in books. So like I've known since the end of the first fucking book.
Right?
And I'm just like, come on.
Honestly, since Cal and May.
Yes.
Like the way they like she reacted to him, the way he reacted to her, it was just like, oh. Well,
and it even
there
she
it is.
even says something like that.
Yeah, you haven't been able to keep away from me since Cal and May, it seems. But it's funny because he's like, I do have more important things to do, but I find myself unable to resist the temptation the same way you can't resist watching me when we're out. So territorial.
Yes.
And then she's just like, what?
And then at the end, he like flicks her on the nose, and I'm like,
I can't wait to see what that sharp tongue of yours could do at the summer court.
Yeah, I love that he's like just flicks her on the nose like a freaking cat or something. Like, what the heck?
Oh, I love him so much.
Oh my gosh.
He's such a good character. Okay, chapter 32.
Chapter 32. The first thing I have.
Robert going slow through this.
I know we got a lot to talk about though.
What was your first page? What?
308.
Oh, same.
So for some reason Reese is really pissy.
Reese is pissy, you said?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, are you a sore loser? Because they were playing cards and like
Kathy and Azriel won.
That's clearly not the real problem. Like he's pissy for some other reason, but we never really like find out. And I'm wondering if it's because he's like, because later we find out like he really wants to have this alliance with Tarquin. With Tarquin, and he wants like to build that relationship, but he knows that like they're about to go do something that's gonna
ruin
the chances of that. But like I'm just like, why is he really pissy?
I put so for 308 they go to Adriata is how I pronounced it. I don't know.
I would have said Adriata, but yeah.
Adriata, yeah. Adriata. I don't know.
However you pronounce it.
Farrah's describing what Adriata looks like. So it's obviously in the summer court, so it's like very sea-like. It's coastal, all of that kind of stuff, like a lot of blues and greens and seashells and all that kind of stuff. And I said I would love the seaside prettiness, honestly. I would love to be there, but that heat would be unbearable. I say that as I'm moving to South Carolina, but you know, that's fine. That's fine. I can have my beach.
Yeah.
Anyways.
My next thing is on the next page 309. The description of Tarquin, I'm just like,
I knew you'd like Tarquin.
damn. Like, rich brown skin, white hair, and eyes of a crushing turquoise blue. I'm imagining like Jackson Avery, but like a couple shades darker. Have you watched Grey's Anatomy?
No, but I know who that is.
Okay, so that's who I'm imagining. Like his eyes are like gorgeous blue, and like he's just super attractive. But like just a couple shades darker, because I feel like if you live in the summer court, you're probably darker than that. But like that's what I'm imagining.
Well, this is where Alice is from.
Oh, okay.
This is her original court, summer court. So that dark tree bark like skin.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and then like white hair and blue eyes, like all of that. I'm just like. I'm imagining like Jackson Avery, but like a silver fox Jackson Avery with a tan. And I'm like, yes. Listen, brown people can tan too. Brittany in the winter and Brittany in the summer are so much different, like skin tone. Like,
I had a soccer coach who would always wear like this like rainbow umbrella hat outside when we would be running. And although like there was only like 2 black girls on the entire team. I mean, we're from a white community,
right.
And we'd be like running, and all the white girls would be like rolling up their sleeves and their their legs as much as possible, and try to get as much sun without like getting lines or whatever. And she'd be over there in like her jacket, like sweating ass, everything with her hat, like, I ain't getting no darker. I ain't getting no darker. That's what she would say. I ain't getting no darker. And we'd be like, what? And she goes, black people tan too. You just don't realize it. Black people tan too.
They for sure do. And like, it's insane to like, I always use the inside of our arms to compare, because like in the middle of summer, I tan a teensy little, like I might get a shade darker. Like instead of blue, I look white. Like, so like I'll compare the inside of my arm to the inside of Brittany's arm. And it's just like, really? Really?
No, I get real dark in the summertime. That like the Germanic olive skin tone pops through really, really well. Everyone's like, you're so Irish. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Fuck you.
I am Native American, German, and Irish. And I literally, like, the Irish is clearly the full, like, thing. Like, I'm
redhead.
Super white, got all these freckles, red hair. Like, I was screwed from the beginning. Alcoholic. Like, the alcoholism runs in my family.
I have all the angry alcoholic
oh my God
areas of Europe.
And I'm just like, where is that Native American at? Like in there. I know that it's in there. Can it just come out a little bit and just give me just like a little bit of not?
No, it's your strong sense of who you are. That's right there. That's right there.
Can it physically come out, please?
All right, there you go. I put sorry. Asthma. 310. I have some for 310. Did I?
I do as well.
So
I forgot about that. I love how uncomfortable Reese likes to make people.
It's the best. So for 310, there is we meet Tarquin. So well, we met him a couple of chapters before or pages before, but basically he's talking to Feyre, and Feyre's like, he feels the power. I don't know if he feels the power, but I know I feel his power. So it's like she feels like his power is reaching out to her, but like that never happened with Rhys or Tamlin. So is it the book? The fact that she's in the summer court. So is it the book that's actually like reaching out to her through his power? Or is it just something that she's never noticed with Tamlin or Rhys because of like that
I feel like
bond?
I feel like she probably just didn't notice it with them because like she was so fucking obsessed with Tamlin. Her head was up his ass. Like, so she just like, she was always aware of him anyway. And she probably thought it was because she loved him. And then with Rhys, she probably thought it was the bond.
Right. Well, and here's something else too. I wonder, the Demati, is that
I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know what you're talking about. The
so
people that can use like
the,
affect mind.
yeah, so that and the transformation that they are or that they go through or whatever. So like obviously we got a weird feline dog kind of thing for Tamlin, and then wherever the fuck he is, Raven, or I don't know. Do you think that because she struggled getting those powers out, water just seemed to come natural?
I was wondering that too. Like, it also could just be because she has started to train with her powers. Because she started training with the water powers before she got there, or maybe she did it once she got there. She's like
she
making
did in
animals in the bathtub.
that was when she got there.
Okay, yeah. And
I wonder if it's because the power was like so strong, it was easy for her to actually like. Maybe she should do that. Go to all of the High Lord like courts and then practice your shit right there.
Well, and maybe it's partially too because she was working with Cassie and she kind of broke down some of those mental blocks that she had.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that could be it too.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot about that, but it did. Okay.
Yeah, so what I was talking about when I said that Reese is such an asshole and he likes to make people feel uncomfortable is great because like they've just met Tarquin and he's looking at Feyre and his gaze drifted to her chest and Reese follows that gaze. Her breasts are rather spectacular, aren't they? Delicious as ripe apples. Like they just make it, he makes things so like uncomfortable and I just fucking love it. Like,
well, it's funny because she's just like, it's like he can feel that power within me with like beating in through my chest that's like making me who I am today. And he's just like, yeah, she got nice tits.
yes, exactly.
And then she's just like, here, I thought you had a fascination with my mouth. Oh, honey, he has a fascination with you.
Delighted surprise lit Reese's eyes. Anyway, cracking me up. And then, so then there's on the next page, is it Varian? Varian?
I think it's Varian. I pronounce it Varian.
Well, where's it at? He's like looking at Amryn like, oh, there it is. His attention was fixed wholly on Amryn as if he knew where the biggest threat lay and would be happy to kill her if given the chance. In the brief time I'd known her, Amryn had never looked more delighted. And I fucking love that. Because it's just looking at her like, I want to kill you. And Amryn's like, yes, please try it.
Although I can see Amryn like turning the tables, like trying, like getting him to fall in love with her.
Yeah, I feel like, because, well, later they kind of allude to that a little bit. And I love it.
But at this point, it's like, is he though? Because I feel like Reese with barely ever moving anything. And then here's the thing. They know what Reese can do. They've seen what Reese can do. They can just feel Amryn's power, but isn't it muted because of the body she's trapped in?
I think so. Right?
So I feel like Reese would be the bigger threat at this point, at least.
But I think they're so uneasy, and I actually wrote something about that on the next page, or page 312. Like, his court is so uneasy because I think, first of all, they're uncomfortable with some of his more radical ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And then, two, like, they believe that there's going to be war between the Night Court and the Spring Court because of Feyre. Mm-hmm. So they're, like, probably like, oh, God, is like us inviting them here?
Like, are we going to
showing our allegiance?
Die?
Like, are we asking for the Spring Court to be mad at us now? Like,
you know, their castle sounds really, really nice. It reminds me of like Little Mermaid castle.
Yeah, like underwater. Like,
yeah,
I agree.
So on 313, here's something I think is funny. Feyre doesn't know how to act like anything other than herself. Mm-hmm. She struggles a lot with being somebody she's not, and I think it's just funny to watch this whole interaction of her with this summer court during this time, because there's like a part on 313 where she's like, oh, this is a fantastic view, and he's like, this is my favorite view. Oh, you must be very proud to have such stunning lands. How do they compare to the ones you've seen? Everything in Prythian is lovely when compared to the mortal realm, and is being immortal lovelier than being human? And then she's like, you tell me. And I just think it's funny because it's like she's playing the vixen, and it's
Yes,
like
it's so
it's so
awkward and
yeah.
uncomfortable.
But you know, honestly, when I was single and I like didn't, if I didn't like the person, I could play that role so well. The moment I liked that person, I was like, oh, awkward. Like words escaped my mouth whenever possible, and then I looked like a fucking idiot.
You fight good.
Yeah, I turned into him.
Yes.
Shang, that's me when I like somebody.
You fight good.
I'm Reese when I don't like somebody. Just shamelessly flirting with everybody like it's fucking natural.
Oh my gosh.
I become an awkward turtle. Anyways.
The last thing I have is like the last 2 pages of the chapter. And it's just the Cressida's such a bitch.
Oh God, yes. What is it? Oh, 3:15. I have something. I have 2 things actually. One, so they're talking about a war with the Springport because of her. And it's like she straight up, first of all, what is that noise? There's children screaming.
Children outside.
So there's like a bitch move. She's like, Crusader was like, oh, and are you in contact with Tamlin then? And then she's like, there are things that public knowledge and things that are not. My relationship with him is well known. Its current standing, however, is none of your concern or anyone else's. But I do know Tamlin, and I know that there would be no internal war between courts, at least not over me or my decisions. She's like, oh, what a relief then to know we're not harboring a stolen bride and what we need not bother to returning her to her master as the law demands. And as a wise person might do to keep trouble from their doorstep. And it's like, all right, fucking bitch move there. But also, if she left on her own free will, wouldn't the law become null and void?
I would think so.
I mean, because it's not like she
wasn't kidnapped. She chose
and
to
she
leave.
ultimately chose everything. I mean, Tamlin can sit there and say all he wants that like she can't write, she can't read. He wrote that, blah 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 blah, or someone else wrote that from the court. But like they all
it would take would be to go talk to her. Like,
yeah, and I mean, if there was a law when she killed a fae,
right?
Unless that was, not everybody talks as if there was something, but I thought that it was just made up, and it was something with like just the spring court so that he would know like when somebody didn't come back,
right?
He like knew who killed or who did whatever. That's what I was under the impression. But then everyone's talking about like the law of the land or something like that. So I don't know. But and then I put something like, they go on a pleasure barge.
Yeah.
In the middle of the lake. It just sounds so weird. Why are you going to call it a pleasure barge? We're going to have a party on my pleasure barge.
That's so awkward.
And honestly, that whole situation is weird, and they all joke because it's a tense situation.
Yeah.
And that would be me. I'd be like, I feel weird. I feel awkward. I can't do this or I can't do that. So, calls for a joke.
Yeah, the last thing that I had about this chapter was just, I feel like Feyre's actually starting to get good at this. Like, Reese is like, if you or your people try to bring Feyre to Tamlin, their lives will be forfeit. And Tarkin's like, do not threaten me at my home. Reese is like, it's not a threat, it's a promise. And Feyre just like lifts her glass and is like, no wonder immortality never gets dull.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's just
tense situations call for a joke.
Okay. I feel like that's the end of chapter 32, so it's time for a break. I'm going to let you lead this break.
So, when I first read through this, I got really, really obsessed with this book series and the characters and all that, and the person who got me turned on to these books, Chloe, shout out, bought me some candles. So there is a company called Briarwick through Etsy, and does a whole bunch of, this is not sponsored, by the way, this is just something that I really like. I love candles. Sets the mood for a lot of things. And so this person, Briarwick, makes candles after book characters. So they have like Rezan, Valaris. There's like Feyre. Let's see what else is there. I think they have Lucian. I'm double checking, but they don't have Tamlin. So the two I have right now is Rezan and Valaris. So Rezan comes in this cute little tin. Let's see. It's like this cute little tin. It's purple. Rezan's scents are starlight, shadows, and citrus. Valaris is sea salt, orchids, and starfall, and it's like a lilac color, and it just smells really really good. And I am very scent oriented. I pick up on scents all the time, and it really pisses me off when I don't like the scent. And I really like these, so I definitely recommend Briarwick. And I believe there's other ones. Other like things.
Characters.
Other books.
I feel like, well, and like, so even in these books, I feel like the scent of like Adriata would probably be amazing.
Right? Oh, that's a good one. So they have like Crescent City. They have, I don't know any of these. Adam Carlson, Found Family, Friends to Lovers candles. Oh, I know that. Fake dating, Ice Planet, romantic comedy, historical romance, forbidden romance, book girlfriend, wax melts. Oh, this is cool. They have all kinds of stuff. They also have pins. They have a book, cat, and candle pin. They have a labyrinth owl pin. Oh, good one. Well, this is fun. They also have Greek stuff. Let's see. The Underworld, Matthias, Jasper. We're All Mad Here, Thornfield, Pembury, Mr. Darcy, Castle Dracula. 22-1B, Baker Street. So yeah, they just have, here we go. Finally. Okay. We got Lucian. We got Morgan, we got Amarin, Nesta, Elaine. Well, that's weird. And it goes on to a whole other section. Anyways, there's 4 pages of this. There's so many different ones. Yeah, there's just so many different like candles to choose from. There's 4 different pages. They're like $5. I don't know how much the pins are. They got Feyre, Azrael, Cassian, Night Court. Night Court is Seamus, Citrus, and Dreams, which is like very close. Oh, the other one's Starlight, Shadows, and Citrus. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, they got all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, they also have Harry Potter stuff. So they have the Wizard's Joke Shop, House of the Cunning, House of the Wise, House of the Brave, and House of the Loyal.
I love it.
House of the Cunning is Oak Moss, Yuzu, and Ambition.
Ew.
Hey! House of the Wise is Blackberry, Amber, and Cleverness.
Ooh.
Ew. Whatever. Anyways, so that's Briarwick from LA, California. And yeah, if you go online right now, apparently they have a free shipping thing for orders over $50, and that's a lot considering these candles are $5.
Nice.
Anyways, that's my little spiel.
Okay. So we'll probably get through 1, maybe 2 more chapters this episode, I feel like. I have a lot written down for chapter 34, so we'll kind of have to...
Man, and I sat here and I forced myself to read fast. Whatever.
Listen, you know we talk a lot.
I knew it too. I sat here and even said before we started, I think I should probably read because I don't have a lot written.
You know we talk a lot.
Whatever.
And like, you'll have it written down for next time, so it's fine.
True.
Plus, it's not like that's a hard chapter to read.
True.
Okay. So, at the beginning, it's the second page of chapter, page 318. they're talking about their plan. And Reese is like, I want you to find a way to do what you have to do without making enemies of them. And she's like, so you're telling me not to get caught? Shouldn't that have been the goal anyway? Like, shouldn't she have known that that was the goal, to not get caught? Like,
you're literally in someone else's court. They could declare war on you at a blink of an eye because of what you're doing.
Fucking like, obvious? Like,
listen, oh, she pisses me off so much while at the summer court. It's like all her anything has just gone and left. Like her whole sense of knowledge is
anyway. Well, and then on page 319, apparently I didn't realize that summer court was water power at first. And then I was like surprised by that because, I was having a Feyre moment.
I was going to say, why do you think it's not? I mean, I can get like heat, like hot, so like sun
fire,
and
yeah,
fire,
but I already knew that autumn was fire. So like, I guess
funny.
I should have realized that summer was water, but I didn't until like she started playing with the water or feeling the water or whatever she said.
During this whole part right here, though, before like she actually goes out into like the world with Tarquin and all that, Reese is like, it's dangerous. And it's like, is it dangerous to her or is it dangerous to Reese? Because he sounds jealous.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds very jealous.
Well, and it's kind of almost like the same thing with Tamlin. Like Tamlin never wanted her to do anything because things were dangerous.
Right. And so
then but Reese still lets her do it though. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think he's just warning her, like, it's really dangerous. Like,
but
please
he
be careful.
Yeah. In her.
Also, I really like the cool water animal tricks. Like, I'm gonna do that.
Right?
I want my own water zoo. So on page 320.
Ooh, I have something for 320 as well.
So they're talking about what she would do to help save her people, essentially. So she's like, I would go back if it came to that reason. Like, I'd go back rather than make you fight, because she's worried about Tamlin, starting to fight with him. And he's like, well, would you want to go back? Would going to war on your behalf make you love him again? Would that be the grand gesture to win you? And it's like, she's like, I'm tired of death. I wouldn't want to see anyone else die, at least of all for me. Well, that doesn't answer my question. No, I wouldn't want to go back, but I would. Pain and killing wouldn't win me. And then he's like, he locked you up because he knew. The bastard knew what a treasure you are, what you were worth more than gold or land or jewels. He knew and wanted to keep you all to himself. And then she's like, he did. Well, does love me, Reason. And he goes, the issue isn't whether he loved you, it's how much. Too much. Love can be a poison. And I'm like, oh, he has a point.
Yes. That's what I wrote. That's exactly what I had to say. On page 320, I wrote, love can be a poison in quotation marks, because yes, like it can be toxic. It doesn't have to be. And like, even if it is toxic, you can work your way out of that. But like, both people have to be willing and put in hard work. And Tamlin was not willing. Like, Tamlin wanted to possess her, not love her.
She was a tool.
Yes.
For his arsenal.
A treasure. Like he wanted to have her, but not
love her, care for her the way she deserves. Yeah. I'm just saying, he has a point.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and Reese also pissed me off during this chapter too. And specifically the first time that I read through this, because it's like he was just rude. He's just rude to Feyre. I mean, I know Feyre can be kind of an idiot at times, and that's like, yes, that's why we're here. Like, you should have known that from the get-go. But it's like he was just beginning to be rude to her instead of like, I don't know, better than shamelessly flirting with her and then just ignoring her and shamelessly flirting with other people. It's like, why are you doing that?
Right.
Like if you're going to be platonic about it, be platonic. Don't.
Yes.
What's the word? Not carry her on, but like
lead her on.
Lead her on.
Or at least talk to her about it. Like, if there's a reason that you're flirting with all these other people to distract them, which we like
would have
discuss that. Like,
that's not like a big secret that
and like
one thing could really change.
Yes, just yes. All of that. And then like he's like, go fuck with Tarkin, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, now you're acting like Tamlin.
Yeah, now you're being a little bitch.
You're being a jealous little bitch.
Yeah, so this is where he was pissing me off.
Get your life together.
Yeah, this is where he was pissing me off.
My next thing is until page 322.
No, you're good.
Okay, so 322, they're like having dinner or lunch or something. And she's talking about like she just found out how much the summer court has treasure and all that. She's like, I didn't know the summer court valued treasure so much. And they're like, this is our big thing. Like we have all these jewels and it's mostly just a tradition now. And so she's like carefully flattering them. Like, my father was a merchant. I spent most of my childhood in his office helping him with his goods. It would be interesting to compare mortal riches to those made by fey hands. And just like that careful flattery is like
dangerous.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but like smart. Like,
yeah,
that is exactly the way to get into all their troves and to try to find this book.
Yeah. There was a part on 323 when they're talking about how like money runs the world out there, like this or that, and he's like, there are some in Prithian who would think the same of the courts and blah blah blah. So it's like we're no different than that. And fucking Feyre needs to work on her goddamn comebacks, because there's a part where it was like, oh, but for those sycophants and peacocks.
Like, you use the word sycophant and then you say peacocks. Like,
is it sycophants or sycophants?
I think it's sycophant.
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever the word is, that word.
Peacocks.
Like, whenever I hear the word peacock now, I think of Lucius Malfoy and his albino peacocks on his front lawn. And
I didn't even know he had those. I was thinking that stupid Katy Perry song, I want to see your peacock.
Oh my God, that's much better.
I didn't even know Malfoy had them.
That song is horrible. Yeah, at the Malfoy Manor, there's a part where like Snape and
is this in the book?
Yes.
Oh, that's why I didn't know. I haven't read the books.
Oh, well, get on it, Emily.
I know.
That's what we need to do next. Jesus.
No.
Do you know how fast that would go? Like, we could do one book a freaking episode. I know, we talk too much.
No, we can't. We can't even get through one of these books.
Anyway, yes, Lucius Malfoy, like Snape, and at the part where they kill Charity Burbage, the Muggle studies, where she's like hanging above the table, Snape and somebody else, I can't remember who right now, are walking up the thing, and like something rattles and makes a noise, and they're like, ah! And then he's like, peacocks. Lucius always did think highly of himself.
I like that one better. You like the Katy Perry song? I like that one. Peacocks. Every time I get scared now, I'm just going to scream peacocks.
Yes.
I want to walk into your room when one of your kids tries to scare me. Peacocks. And you'll be the only one out of the whole room of 20 that will be laughing.
And I'll like fall on the floor laughing. Oh my gosh. I can't even. I said on page 323, I just said ugh politics, because like,
it's so true.
Yeah, it's so, yes, I can't even. And then, so we kind of already talked about this. On page 324, he's like, Reese is like hardcore flirting with Cressida?
I call it Cressida.
Cressida. And he's like hardcore flirting with her, and then they like leave this like rooftop party together, or is it a rooftop? Wherever.
They're on the pleasure barge.
Oh yeah, they leave this party together, and like Reese is nowhere to be found, and neither is Cressida. And I'm just like, is Reese trying to distract her, or is he trying to make Feyre jealous? Like, I can't tell right now.
Yeah. If
he's truly like trying to distract her and make this like a good thing, or if he's just being petty and trying to make Feyre jealous because he basically told her to go fuck Tarquin. And I'm like,
right after he said that about Cassian and anybody else.
I realize that he's like, it's a defense mechanism. He's trying to protect himself, but like, get it together, Reese.
Right. Like, you literally were lusting. No, I shouldn't say lusting, because that's completely like yearning for her while she was with another fucking man. And now you're just pushing her to other men as she's laying in your court.
Part of me wonders if he's not doing that though, because he knows that she's not healed from Tamlin yet. And he doesn't want to try to start something with her too soon and like fuck it up. Like, he doesn't want to be a rebound. He wants her to have a rebound.
Oh, he definitely is the rebound. He's the rebound forever, but he's the rebound.
And I mean, that happens sometimes. Like, sometimes you can, like, it depends on the person. Some people can leave one relationship and jump into another one, and just, that is there forever. Like, I did that. Like,
I think it's one thing. I think it's okay with them. It's a little different for them because they have like the mating bond, and once she like completely, it gets set for her, it'll be different.
Well, and I feel like too, like part of it is they're healing together from their trauma.
Yeah.
And like I again, to bring it back to my own life kind of thing, like I went through a whole bunch of trauma and was emotionally abused for years and then finally escaped that trauma and that like relationship. And Brittany and I have been together ever since. And like she helped me heal and I helped her heal from, you know, like other traumas. It's just like growing together is different. Anyway.
Yeah, and that's why I was such a huge fan. Like, I was such a huge fan of the quote, like, you can't love anybody unless you love yourself. And I was like, I was so back and forth with it because it's like, yeah, it's true. Like, how can I like give somebody 100% when I'm not even 100%? But it's like, you're always consistently working on yourself and you will never fully be able to love yourself, give or take, just because of XYZ. And that it's best to have somebody who you trust and care for and love to help like build you up to like increase with you kind of stuff. But that's my thing. And that's kind of what I have with Will. And I am very, very happy with it because we're learning through our traumas together and building and increasing and all that. But yeah. So
that's the last thing I have for chapter 33.
On page 326, she talks about like the loneliness and how she was like hoping that she could have not hoping, but she felt that Reese was lonely too, and she like kind of used that as a comfort, I guess, in a way. And like it's hard to deal with it, like the loneliness of it, like knowing your feelings may not be understood, or even seeing the crush reciprocate and like seeing the crush with other people. That is a very hard thing to like witness and watch, especially when you're close friends with them. And that like it really, really sucks as like a person who has friends, whether you're one way or another, who you like or they like you, and it's kind of like the whole Moore and Azriel and Cassian thing. It's like it's hard to watch as a bystander, but also hard to be within that like situation.
Yeah.
So I empathize with her for her feelings of loneliness because she felt like she had somebody to be lonely with. Yeah. And now he's just off with another female, and she's just like, I thought he was lonely. Right. That's all I had for chapter 33.
Okay. I have so much written for chapter 34. I feel like if we continue, we're going to go way, way over.
I only have 3 things for chapter 34, so.
I have like a whole page of notes.
Damn.
But
what is your problem? I'm just kidding.
But that's okay because we had one more break idea to talk about today, and so we can go ahead and do it. And that's really funny. So if you're watching the YouTube version of this, you will see that I just made a really, really crazy face and was like looking past the screen
multiple times.
Yeah, that is because we are in my classroom right now, in one of my classrooms, and I have some crazy news that I need to let everyone know. A lot of people are going to think it's kind of unexpected, but those who are in the know have kind of known it was coming for a minute now. I've been interviewing for other positions because some things happened recently that made me put out applications, and I finally started getting callbacks for those applications, even though I had kind of changed my mind and decided to stay, and I was offered a position. Woo! As a center director at KinderCare, and it's so much a better opportunity that I decided to take it. So the reason I just made that crazy face is because one of my students in one of my clubs just walked over to the printer, and my letter of resignation is sitting on the printer. So I'm worried that she just saw it. And I was not ready for anyone to see that quite yet. So I was going to talk to them after this event today, but
well, maybe not so much.
Sorry, they might already know. And then Emily.
Oh, yeah. So, wait, which one? The job?
No, the movie.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the job's not that fun.
I mean, it's fun, but not, no.
Yeah. I have a job in South Carolina. Now I can officially move and get an apartment down there. And I don't have to work full time. I can work part time and still make a decent amount of money. Thank you very much. Woo, woo. Woo. Anyways, so it pays to know people. It really does. So
Networking is huge.
Yeah. So I worked with a couple of people at my old job at an autism center. And we obviously, all three of us moved on and went to our separate places. Well, the wife of this couple I ended up working with at this job, we all are part of a bigger organization. And we go and have monthly meetings and we kind of like do our updates on our lives or whatever. And I explained to them, like, I was getting into acting. I've always wanted to try it, never actually got into it. I came from like a small community where everybody gets the same part, like nobody else gets any other part. Like it's very cut and dry kind of thing. Best you get is like backstage hand kind of stuff. So never really had like the confidence to do it, but I've been doing it this year. I've started since January, and I actually the husband of the couple is a filmmaker, and he is making a film, and I got a part in it.
Yay!
It won't be a very big film. It's going to be very small, local, but that's fine.
But that's where you start.
I can get it in my reels.
Yes.
And it's really heavy. It's about a school shooting.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, oh. And I play a character who lost her mom, and I'm like, ugh.
But still, like, I feel like that's it's like one of those stepping stones.
Yeah.
And like it's networking, because if this gets noticed by someone else and they get noticed, then they are gonna be like, oh, well, this person did this for me, and like it's gonna be
right. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And it's nice because the director told us yesterday, like, when I usually write this stuff, I like working with the same people because I know how they work. I do this, I do that. And he is like, so if this is a great opportunity for us and like I really enjoyed working with you, I will probably invite you back. And I'm like, oh,
yay!
I won't be here, but I will be here. So yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. And it's kind of crazy because like Will was talking about this last night. He was just like, it's absolutely insane how you were at such a low at the very beginning of this year. And he was like, there was not a lot of like positive coming from you. And then all of a sudden, like within the last month, you literally were like, I'm about to give up. I shouldn't even bother with this. Like, why am I even trying? Like this or that. Like you were just so negative about it. And then within the last month, you got a role in a play. You started a podcast. You did this and you did that. And then now you got invited to read for a movie. And he's like, it's just absolutely insane the amount of like work you've put into in just such a short 4 months and the outcomes that you're getting. And he goes, it's absolutely insane.
Woo woo.
And I was like,
it really is. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. It's kind of funny every time I think about it because John Krasinski, before he was like, I'm gonna give up. This is like the worst 2 years of my life of living in New York. I fucking hate my life. And then all of a sudden he got The Office, and now he's a huge movie star. And I'm like, yeah, who's that?
We've got this. And like I've always been like, I'm meant for more than this. I'm meant for more than this. And like in teaching, especially in the public school realm, there's no moving up except moving into admin. And like with teaching already, I work too many hours, more hours than I'm getting paid for sure. I don't get anything like that. And there's not that recognition there. Like it's getting better slowly, but like that recognition of all the extra stuff that we're doing is not recognized. And if it's that bad at my level, shit just rolls downhill. So I can't even imagine being an administrator. No,
thank you.
I am leaving the public school realm and going into a private center to be the director.
That'd be great. Woo! Cool. All right. Until next time.
Bye, witches.